Hi, Head Start. So good to be back with you. Now, when we first met in August, I'm pretty sure this is probably not the mountain that we thought we were prepping for, and yet this is the mountain that we are on. Isn't it funny? Even when we have the best of roadmaps, when we think that we know it all and we've mapped it out and we figured out what we wanted to do and when the bus route was going to go, and all of a sudden, somehow, we're on a completely different path and we don't even know how we got there. Well, it's okay. It's okay, right? Sometimes those detours onto those new paths bring us to places we otherwise would have never seen. And sometimes those are the best places, and that's where we really end up learning the most. So I just want to thank you for being here with me today. And what we're going to do today is we're going to navigate this a little bit. We're going to navigate this new mountain that we've found ourselves upon. First, we're going to talk a little bit about the 3 things that we shared together in August about ways that we could be successful at this mountain. And then I'm going to end with 3 new little tidbits that might let you feel more certain during uncertain times. All right, let's jump right in. Okay, so if you recall, the first thing that we talked about when we were together was this thing about signals, right? Not only do you have a signal that your body gives you if something's off, right? Like we can feel it, we can sense it. Something just, there's a signal there, right? So I wanted to encourage you, you got to pay attention to those signals, right? But then the other part of that was, are you signaling to people what you need, right? My analogy was when we were trying to get into the other lane, we didn't even have our signal on. And then we were getting frustrated that nobody was letting us in. So how well have you been doing at signaling to other people what it is that you need? And remember, right now, we're navigating completely new times. And so my sense is your needs are going to look a little different. And so you're going to have to kind of refresh those people around you and remind them. And remind yourself, what is it that I need right now, right? Okay. Number two was talking all about letting go of that excess weight, right? Like extra stuff that is just not serving us, whether that's stuff like in our physical space, whether that's clutter in our minds, right? We just want to get rid of the things that don't serve us. And so what I have here for you is a little analogy. So this is an orange, right? So what kind of juice do you think comes out of an orange? Is it apple? Probably not. Is it grape? Nope, it's not grape. So what is it? It's orange juice. You're like, Jesse, it's orange juice. Yes, you're correct. It is orange juice. So this is the challenge for you. When you get squeezed, right? And we've all probably been squeezed in the last few months. Like when we get something restricted, when something changes last minute, when we don't know what's coming, right? Those are all moments where we feel a little squeezed, where we're a little frustrated. But you don't have to be, right? Because you could also be in the flow and you could just trust that you are exactly where you need to be and whatever you need will make its way. So with that orange, just remember what's coming out when you get squeezed, when you're in a stressful spot, because if you don't like what's coming out, that's your biggest indicator about what it is time to let go of. What is it that you need to release, okay? And then the third thing I talked about was talking all about self-care, which is just a topic near and dear to my heart. It is something that allows us to fuel good so that we can fill up others, right? So for me, it has been water and walking lately. I just love it. And I've known this forever, right? Isn't it funny? Like how we can know something about ourselves, but yet we need to be reminded. So I've known forever that movement for me is always going to make my day better. And then accompanied with water, it's just a win-win, right? So for me, when I am filling my cup literally with water, I am able to pour into others better. So I ask you, what is it that you've been doing or need to start doing to fuel good, to make sure that you're not going to run out of gas halfway up that mountain, right? Because when there's detours, we want to make sure that we still have enough energy to get to that top so that we can see the outlook. All right. Now, as I promised, I was going to give you 3 other tidbits. And these are some fun ones. So these are really great little ideas that just hold on to and just notice your surroundings, because my sense is when you hear of these, you're going to already again, just probably be reminded of these, but I hope that you take these and you see how much they can serve you to create that certainty that I think we all might be craving right now, right? So the first one is this. It is a magnifying glass. So when we're exploring and we're out and about, whatever it is that we want to get bigger and see better, we focus on, right? So that can go twofold. That can either work for us or against us. So my challenge is for you to allow that to work for you. So what you're going to notice about my little prop here is that it's a circle. So in order to remember this, you have two circles. You have a circle of influence, and then you have a circle of concern. The goal here is to create more on, is to focus more on that circle of influence, right? So that's going to be that inner circle. You want to be able to focus more on that and less on the circle of concern. But sometimes it's tricky, right? The circle of concern is all around us. Examples of the circle of concern would be the news, right? It's telling us all this stuff. The government, gas prices, whether or not, Safer at Home is going to be released, what's going on with COVID. Those are all this big circle of concern. And sometimes what happens, if you focus too much on that circle, what's it going to do? It's going to get bigger and it's going to feel even more overwhelming. Well, the solution to that is to focus on the circle of influence. And that is that small circle within us that we can focus on every day. So for instance, it's what am I going to wear today? What time am I going to get up today? Am I going to drink water today? What do I want to eat today? What do I want to read today? What do I want to listen to today? Who do I want to talk to today? Do I want to go for a walk today? Right? So it's all these small decisions. But as you know in your own life, when you've done those small decisions and you've done them well and you've filled yourself up, you feel better, right? And my sense is when you do those things, that bigger circle of concern actually probably doesn't feel so big, right? Okay, so that's the first one, is you want to make sure that whatever you're focusing on, that in fact is the thing that you want to see get bigger in your life, because it will. All right, and then the next part, got my little props here, is all about tuning in to how you're talking. Breaker, 10-4, over, okay. So there's two parts. There is a reactive way to speak, and then there is a proactive way to speak. And we've all been in both, right? So the reactive way is like this. I can't. Nope. All or nothing. Nope. I'm never going to be able to do that again. Nope. It's gone now. It's frustrating, right? I'm in a place of frustration. I feel like I can't do anything. I feel like things have been taken from me. I feel like that's never going to happen the way that I wanted it to be. I'm never going to get that feeling that I wanted. Okay. It's a lot of like doom and gloom, and you're just reacting to this thing outside of ourselves, right? So that's kind of like a good indicator would be that bigger circle of concern. If we're focusing too much on that, a lot of times we're probably a bit more reactive because we're getting upset because if we start to feel helpless, right? So that other channel that you could turn to would be the proactive channel. And that would sound like this. Okay, so that's not an option, but I bet you there's more options. Okay, or maybe I just need to find an alternative route. Okay, so we can't have the birthday party, but maybe we just create a different version of a birthday party. Okay, I'm catching on. And you know what? I will. I prefer. I'm going to create. And when you listen to that language, that's so empowering. That gives us the ability to feel like we have control over our environment. So whether we're at work from a computer now, or when we are in our physical workspace, just remember you always have a choice. And when you can use your language to clarify and communicate that, not only does your audience benefit, but so do you. All right? So make sure if you don't like the channel that you're on, you change it. And then lastly is all about this, when you're hiking a mountain, you're going to get tired. There's going to be moments where it's like, oh, I don't know if I have it in me to do another step. I don't know if I have it in me to do another day of this stay at home, or it's wearing me out. Okay? So then you just might need to rest. So I suggest resting and reflecting. So just take a moment. Okay, and the other piece, if anybody knows me, knows that this is how I typically travel. And my other piece is this: pause and praise and take a picture. So for me, when I travel, I take a lot of pictures, but that's the way that I can pause and praise whatever I'm looking at. And so I really encourage you to figure out which method is best for you. Do you want to just kind of take a pause and focus on gratitude? Because that certainly is going to make you feel better, and maybe even take a few pictures along the way to remember these wild times. Or are you the kind of person that just wants to just take a moment to rest and reflect? And when you're reflecting, maybe you think about what's working, what's not, right? All right, so in review, we had a lot of fun little tidbits to make our climb all that much better. So the first was pay attention to those signals and then remind others of what you need by giving them a signal. Second is letting go of what you do not need, right? Let go of anything extra that is creating clutter in your life. Third is making sure that you're gonna fuel good and fill yourself up so you can pour into others. Fourth was figuring out, what am I focusing on? And is it really serving me? Is it what I want to get bigger? Fifth was being able to recognize, how am I talking? Tune into your language, right? Tune into what you are talking about. And if you don't like the channel, then you can change it. And then lastly was just really taking that moment to pause and give praise, or just take that moment to rest and reflect. Head Start, it has been a pleasure as usual to serve you and be with you today. I wish you a wonderful summer. And
enjoy the journey!
That's right. We just wanted to pop back in and tell you, enjoy the journey, and for you to meet this sweet little guy who is in my belly.
Whose name?
Easton Andrew Stickle. So we just wanted you to meet him and say hello, and also just stay safe. Stay the path, because remember, every step of the path is the path. The possibility of the unknown is what makes life worth living.